What is going on, guys? The Veteran Miner. I want to show you how we fixed this KS0 Pro. A customer sent it in for repair. And what happened was, see if this will focus, that pin is not supposed to be in our cable. So the customer was aware if they do overclocking, it could damage their unit. Well, we're here to try to fix this pin here itself, but we're not going to be able to replace this because we don't have this. So we can solder 2 wires on here, or we can actually try to use a 6-pin. We have Molex 6 pins here, or just solder the 2 wires on there, take this off, solder the 2 lines on there, and they can actually use the 12 volts. We're going to try to fix this unit for this customer. It's not guaranteed. They are aware of that, but it looks like they try to use venting to try to keep it cool on both sides, but still, as you can see right here, still it just wasn't enough. The overclock that they used was just too much for a barrel connector. That's why our cables are rated only for regular use. That's it. So putting that in perspective, we're going to see if we can take this apart and see what we can do with it and fix it. So as we take this apart, you're going to see that we're going to need thermal paste and pads. So we're going to have to do that as well on top of fixing the connector. So not bad. Let's see how this goes. You definitely want to put the screws that you're taking out in the right section, because there's going to be some other screws that are inside the unit as well. So this looks like this might be that ABS that they printed off. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure it tries to keep it cooler. And here's the unit itself. Okay. So this should pry up here. Since it was open already, not too bad. It should pry up pretty easily, but we'll see. Yeah. It's stuck. There we go. Not too bad at all. So, here we go right there. You have the fans. And, yeah, that's not... I don't know. This is different. And dirty. Huh. So, yeah, this is, not sure. But this is the padding. Not sure if this had how it came, or I'll see what the customer sent me. We definitely have to clean this up. Let's take the fans out. And here's the unit. So it looks like they try to do like some kind of heat sink to cool it down here. That's like a mod that you can see that they have there. See right there. So, okay. Well, this has to get cleaned up. We use 99% alcohol to clean this up. Just gotta take this off. This is important to clean it. So we'll start with this here. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend opening these up unless you guys know what you're doing, to be honest. It's not that straightforward. Okay. Now that's clean. Now we'll take it apart. Take the, what is it, four 8 screws here. This was not too tight. Okay. Okay. Well, that's a shit ton of thermal paste. So, yeah. I mean, that's a lot. So anyway, you don't need to put that much thermal paste on there. Like I said, the customer did go in here and did some heat sinks and stuff, but you gotta make sure you're not grounding out stuff too here. So, but yeah, so now let's clean all this up. And we still haven't even got to the connector yet, so let's clean all this stuff up first, and then I'll get back to you guys. Alright, so now that we have all that thermal paste off, nice and clean, this is clean on this side, we're good to go in the case here. Now we're going to start with the connector itself. So we can see here, it looks like there's only one positive right here. So if you look in the back of it, you can't really see it, but maybe in there, it's really hard to see. There's only one positive line here, so I don't know if the 6-pin is going to work, but we're going to take this off anyway, because I can see that basically this is where the positive is right here, and you can actually test it with the center pin itself. Maybe we'll do a continuity test. Let me go get my my tester. So we know these 4 here are definitely ground. So if you do this here, that's ground, that's ground. That's actually ground there too. So you have 3 grounds in the front. And then that's the 12 volts right there. Yeah, so 5 grounds and 1 positive right there. So let's pry this up and see if we can actually take this out. We're going to take the connector out itself. Okay. Now that that's out, it's hot. But that's it. That is your center pin. That was all the way in the back. And it's still on there. And I'll show you. See it? That's the center pin. That is the only positive. Now, we look at here, that basically does a 6-pin fit. And it looks like it might actually. I mean, it's a little pushed out, but then you would need to, you know, the top is ground on a typical 6-pin. But, man, let's see. So now we have a really good close-up view on the 6-pin. We're only soldering 2 pins. But what we're going to do here is I need to get some flux. We need to put some flux on here. So let's do that first. There we go. Then we need to clean it too, right? So after we put the flux on there, then we'll clean it. But let's do a good solder on this here. Let's clean this up so you guys can see how you get a really, really good solder. So you just want to heat that up. And you want to make sure that it goes in. It goes through. So you see that right there? It's not going through yet. There we go. Perfect. And then we'll check the other side too. So let's do that. Let's get this on here. Really good. That was really, really good. We'll do this one more time to get through because I know they didn't go all the way through. There we go. Okay. Okay. Let's flip it over. Still got to get a little bit more in the front, but the back is perfect right there. You see that? That's perfect solder. So we're going to make sure we can clamp this on right here. Nice and easy. There you go. Let me get a little bit more flux. Then after this, you need to clean the flux too, right? You don't want this flux on the board or leaving residue on the board. So we're gonna tin one more time right there. There we go. And let's let it go through. Yep. That went through right there. I know that for a fact. Now let's take a look. You'll see. We got solder on both ends. 6-pin is fixed. Right there. 6-pin is fixed. Let's open this up a little bit more. There we go. Okay. So now let's put this back together and see if it all works. Pretty excited though. So let's get this situated so we can put it back together. Okay, so basically you have the thermal paste here that I showed you. We're going to put this on nice and carefully. So I'm going to hold this back here. I'm going to hold the 2 connections because once you put it in, that's it. It's like doing a CPU, right? So you want to line everything up. Perfect. There we go. That's in. And it's on. So now, what you want to do is, you want to take each screw and stagger everything, right? So let's stagger the screws accordingly. I don't know what happened to my small screwdriver. Completely disappeared. Hold on one second. Okay, so we want to stagger the screws. So we'll do one right here. So it does the thermal paste evenly. We'll work ourselves on the inside out. That's it. So now we want to put the thermal pads on. I have them pre-cut already. We'll put them in here. And the customer provided, so you guys know, the Arctic TP3 thermal pads, 200 by 100 millimeters. Okay, so 1.5 millimeters in thickness. This is what he was able to find online, and he said this was working perfectly fine. So I was like, okay, well, we'll use this then. So let's put this stuff on here. Let's put the cover on. So let's put the two fans on here. Let me see here. You guys see the two fans right there. This is the connections right there. Okay, those are in. You got to make sure that they're not in the way. There we go. Okay. Double check before we fasten this here that nothing is in the way. That's there, that's there. This is a big thing right here. It's pretty cool. Let's just see here. Want to make sure that everything is clear, and before you really put the thermal pads and press this in, you want to make sure everything is completely aligned. So as you can see right here, we're good to go. We could put that in, and now let's press it down. Okay, we're looking good. Let's finish up. Okay, so now that everything is put together, we're gonna have to test it. Can't put the cover on because it's designed for the barrel connector. I'm gonna ask the customer if they want me to cut this out so we can put this on, but let's make the special wire now for this connector, because this connector is not a standard PCIe connection. So therefore, let me make the cable and let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so we're at the final stage of this install here of the 6-pin, right? So I just want to explain really quick. This 6-pin right here is not a standard at all. If you put a regular 6-pin in this unit, you will blow it up completely because the power's on top and the ground is on the bottom. That's basically like a CPU connection. All the powers are on top and the grounds are on the bottom. That doesn't work on a PCIe. PCIe, the grounds are on top and the power's on the bottom. Just a little, simple electronics. So what we did was on here is, you see here, this is the power, right? That's a positive, but we had to switch it and put it on the bottom because that's where the power is on PCIe, on the bottom. Then the ground is on the bottom, but you have to put it on the top for PCIe, okay? This cable right here, this extension cable right here, gets married to this unit, because without this cable, you will blow up the unit if you use a regular PCIe connection. So with that being said, in theory, everything's supposed to work. So here we go. Let's power it up. 3, 2, 1. We got fans turned on, and we got power. Look at that. The first 6-pin KS0 Pro that works. Look at that, guys. Check it out. That's freaking awesome.
What is going on, guys? TVM here. I'm glad you made it this far. If you made it this far, can you just put #1? In a nutshell, just a quick recap. We were able to succeed and put that 6-pin on this KS0 Pro, but the customer is aware that not foolproof, right? There's only 2 connections. There's only 2 wires on there. You're not even using a true 6-pin. It's only 2 pins. At the end of the day, this was to fix the customer's KS0 Pro, right? So with that being said, everyone's happy. It was a great experience. And if you like these type of videos, guys, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and that's all I got for you. So have a great day and stay safe.